tropical storm of the season has formed in the Atlantic near Texas. I'll let you know if the storm will bring us any rain and why tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day.
Hot car dangers with extreme heat expected for tomorrow. WRAL wants to make sure you can keep your family safe. How quickly temperatures inside a vehicle can rise to deadly levels. Championship celebration. The Kane Stanley Cup Parade is coming into focus as Saturday grows closer. WRAL has everything you need to know if you plan on being at the big event. And that first tropical storm of the season is called Arthur. Heavy rain and flooding expected for parts of the Gulf Coast. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Lemiga. Thank you so much for joining us. So the deal is, instead of flooding being our biggest issue tomorrow, we're talking about heat being something that people are paying attention to right now, which is why our team has issued a WRAL weather alert day. We have meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner kind of walking you through that a bit. Kind of give us the science behind what we can expect, Elizabeth.
Yeah, lots going on in the Weather Center, that's for sure. And big news that we have, of course, the first storm of the season in the 11 o'clock advisory. We are 17 days in. It's June 17th, and that is technically early in the season, but sometimes we have storms as early as the month of May. This one is likely to be short-lived and weak. Winds at 40 miles per hour, moving northeast at 9 miles per hour. It's going to hug the coast of Texas and then move inland here across Louisiana. By 8 o'clock tonight, it's back to just a tropical depression and then eventually a remnant low that even though it's a weak storm in terms of winds, it will have a lot of big impact along the Gulf Coast in terms of rain. There is a warning for tropical storm force winds along the along the east coast of Texas and the west coast there of Louisiana. But it's really the rain that's going to cause most of the trouble. Already there's been a lingering boundary that's produced rain and flooding before the storm even arrives. And you can see the yellow and orange shaded area. That's where we'll have an additional 4 to 8 inches of rain, and that is likely to cause more problems along the Gulf Coast, especially for Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and even Georgia. For us tomorrow, we'll start to see some of that rain heading our way as a chance of showers and thunderstorms, most likely after the evening commute. We have a level 1 risk for severe storms, so that's one of the reasons that we have a weather alert day for tomorrow. We can expect a few strong storms with gusty winds. Most of those will start after the evening commute, and we'll walk you through future casts coming up. How much rain might we see total from this storm? Probably only about a half an inch to an inch. It's not going to be anything like what some of the Gulf Coast states will see. But tomorrow definitely will be a day that we have some dangerous weather. That severe threat is a level 1, and then a major heat risk up until around 8 p.m. We could see a heat index well into the triple digits for tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk more about when the heat moves out and when we might have more rain coming up.
Elizabeth, thank you. And with that dangerous heat on the way, here's something to know. Over the past 30 years, dozens of children in North Carolina have died in hot vehicles. And today, Durham first responders are teaming up with Durham Health, Duke Health, and Safe Kids NC to show just how quickly temperatures can rise in parked vehicles. WRO's Bailey Stamos is live where a demonstration is taking place right now. Bailey.
Renee, we are cooking up s'mores, but not by the campfire. Take a look at this board. This is going to show the outdoor temperature of this sign, but also the indoor vehicle temperature. Look at that, sitting at 143 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to bring you over here to show you the s'mores. And you can see these have been in here for about 10 to 20 minutes. You can see they are just completely melted over. And that just goes to show how fast a couple of minutes inside this car can become detrimental. And that's the message Safe Kids North Carolina, Duke Health, and first responders really want to push today to parents, but also to children, because they say one of the common issues first responders see around hot vehicles is children maybe sneaking off and actually getting in the car themselves.
Of children that lose their lives in cars actually got in themselves and got trapped inside. So leaving your car, making sure that it's locked and that your kids can't get into it will also help protect their lives.
Officials say 43 children in North Carolina have lost their lives to vehicular heat stroke in just under 30 years, and heat stroke surrounding outdoor activities is very common this time of year. Tonight we speak to health professionals on how to look for signs on danger in your children. Bailey Stamos, WRAL News, live in Durham.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center, new federal charges against an illegal immigrant accused in a road rage incident. This was seen back in March when this incident happened. You can see Sky 5 over I-40. This is near the Cary area. Josue Alejandro Quintanillas Reyes is accused of opening fire during that road rage incident, killing Ricardo Baez Cadenas. The federal charges are linked to Quintanillas Reyes possessing a firearm while being illegally and unlawfully present in the United States. He could face up to 15 years in prison on these new federal charges. He also faces that murder charge in that road rage incident.
Well, there is a fight intensifying over how North Carolina elections operate. There's a sweeping elections bill that drew more protesters for the second day in a row. In fact, they gathered this morning in front of the General Assembly. They say this election bill could create new hurdles for voters and local election leaders. The bill, as written, would touch almost every piece of the state's election law. This includes expanding post-election audits, requiring candidates to be registered with a political party for a year before running in its primary. And then you also have banning ranked choice voting statewide.
This is not an isolated incident. It is merely the next step in their plan to cut back on the fundamental right to vote. This is death by 1,000 cuts.
Now, Republicans say the bill would give the state auditor more power to fight fraud. The state auditor wrote on social media yesterday, quote, an audit by the North Carolina Office of the State Auditor examining the processes and procedures of elections would bring transparency and accountability to voters. Now, for the time being, the bill has stalled. GOP leaders initially planned to vote on it today, but they've pulled it from the calendar. They say they're working on changes to it. And state lawmakers are also moving forward with plans to change the way criminal suspects are evaluated for mental illness. State law currently requires some suspects to undergo mental evaluations at an emergency department or a psychiatric facility. Well, this morning, a Senate committee endorsed a plan to change the location of those evaluations to county jails. The idea has received criticism from law enforcement. The entire Senate needs to approve the bill before it would go to the governor. And you can read more about it on WRAL.com.
Holly Springs is the latest community to say no to data center development. The town council has approved a one-year pause on data center construction. This pause is designed to give the town time to look into how data centers would affect the community. Data centers are a growing debate across North Carolina. This map shows you dozens already built and at least 20 more proposed. The red areas show the counties, cities, and towns pausing those developments or restricting zoning. People in Holly Springs say the data centers bring health concerns and noise pollution that could reduce property values.
I hope a longer moratorium and possibly a ban of data centers will be put in place in the future to allow staff to properly assess the dangers and impacts of data centers. But this is a start.
Holly Springs town staff expect it to take them 8 to 9 months to investigate before they can put together more permanent policies on the issue. You can watch all our previous coverage on data centers on our WRAL YouTube page. There you can learn more about what an AI data center is and how it could affect your water. Just search data center.
Well, a man accused of hitting and killing a Cardinal Gibbons student while he was riding a bicycle is now facing felony charges. 26-year-old Joseph Savarino faces 3 felony charges: involuntary manslaughter, felony death by motor vehicle, and failure to reduce speed. He was indicted this week. The crash happened on Cole Mill Road in Durham back in April. 15-year-old Jack O'Shea was killed, and records show that Savarino told authorities he drank earlier that night. Savarino is the grandson of Duke basketball legend Coach K. And in about an hour, the man accused of kidnapping a woman and crashing into a Raleigh police cruiser with an officer inside is expected in court. I'm talking about Ahmad Nasser. He's facing fleeing and eluding and assaulting a female charges in this. Witnesses told Raleigh police they saw Nasser push a woman into a Chevy Tahoe on Lake Vista Drive yesterday. Well, officers saw Nasser's SUV later near Creedmoor Road and then chased him. He led them back to Lake Vista Drive and crashed into a Raleigh police cruiser with that officer inside. What you're seeing here is video of the aftermath, and the officer at last check is okay.
We are just 3 days away from the Canes Stanley Cup Parade, and the city of Raleigh is busy working on the game plan for a celebration that will draw tens of thousands of people. We have what you need to know before you go. WRAL's Sean Gallagher is live downtown along what's going to be the parade route. Sean, what's new today? What have you been able to learn?
Yeah, since we've been here on Hillsborough Street, we've seen Raleigh police putting up these signs already about no parking along the route. But get this, it says it starts at 3:30 a.m. on Saturday. That's nearly 8 hours before the parade is set to begin. Just shows you how much planning is going into this for the people who are going to come down here. If you're used to maneuvering around this area, you're going to need another way to do it because it will be entirely different this weekend. Now, the parade route will mirror the Christmas parade that we see every year, so roads will be shutting down all around here. The route from St. Mary's down Hillsborough and then on to Fayetteville Street, and several side streets may be closed in areas along the route as well. So for those driving in, the city is offering free parking at 5 of its parking garages, but those are sure to fill up quickly. So you may want to also think about taking public transportation to get here. Go Raleigh has 9 routes that drop off at Moore Square and then several other routes from Chapel Hill and Durham to get in here as well that only have a single transfer to do so. But also, if you're thinking about biking down here or taking a scooter to get here, just be cautious about that. The city is putting a geofence about a block in all directions around the parade route, so you may only be able to get that close with the scooter or bike, and then you'll have to walk from there. But definitely want to start that plan now. 3 days and counting until the Stanley Cup is paraded here in downtown Raleigh. In downtown Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Sean, thank you. And you can count on WRAL for live team coverage of the Big Canes Parade Saturday. We'll have more than a dozen crews in downtown Raleigh so that you can see every angle of the celebrations. We will broadcast the entire event live, including the fan rally in City Plaza. And you'll be able to watch on TV and online on Saturday.
Next at noon, a deadly Texas plane crash. We're going to take you to the site of that aftermath and tell you what we know from investigators about the people aboard who were killed.
Federal fallout, why the Secret Service deputy director has a problem with the FBI revealing the alleged UFC terror plot in D.C.
AI rules in schools. The work happening today for Wake County Public Schools to switch up how your child and their teachers use AI in class.
Coming up next, sea storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000, sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
So there's this recent survey where people said they pick up their phone roughly 200 times a day on average, and they spend up to 4 hours a day on their phone. Some even say they feel, frankly, addicted to it. So if you find it hard to pull your eyes away from your phone, 5 on your side's Keely Arthur explains ways you can improve yourself.
I'm sorry, I was distracted by my phone, which can lead to issues with stress, sleep, even our ability to connect with each other in real life. If you want to cut back on your digital use, here's what you should do.
Start by just taking short breaks. Even just having your phone in another room for 20 minutes can help you build that comfort and tolerance being away from your device.
You can also delete or limit time-wasting apps like social media, even temporarily. Mute noisy notifications. Set your phone to grayscale to make apps less tempting. Replace screen time with books, hobbies, or exercise. And ask friends and family to hold you accountable.
And if you are really struggling, you can go into your phone and change the control settings. You can get something called a brick, which helps limit your app usage. And if you're feeling really adventurous, you can downgrade your phone to a flip phone. I don't know if I'm going to do that anytime soon, but it's a great idea. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
And I tell you what, if you're trying to limit your child's screen time as well, Keely will have another story airing tonight on WRAL to explain how you can do that.
Despite soaring gas prices, AAA projects a record 72 million people will be traveling at least 50 miles for the Independence Day weekend. Of that number, more than 61 million are expected to drive to their destinations. Nearly 6 million travelers are expected to fly. Nearly 5 million will be on buses, trains, or taking cruises.
We are seeing some improvement there, and that might motivate some people who maybe weren't planning to take a road trip to jump in the car and do it. But typically people have their plans laid out and they know what they're going to do regardless what gas prices are doing. And what we saw over Memorial Day is people were complaining about it. They weren't happy, but they were still pumping and they were still going to the gas station, filling up, and then hitting the road.
Now, for those renting cars, AAA says Hertz expects to have its busiest pickup day on July 2nd.
We're talking about school AI policies. Right now, that is something being discussed in Wake County schools. Hear what is going on right now and the plan expected to make sure that your children are using only some parts AI as well as teachers.
And here's a look at your winning North Carolina Education Lottery numbers. We'll be right back.
Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. Today, putting new AI guidelines in place across Wake County schools takes another step forward. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey has more on the recent move and the current AI standards in place right now.
Wake school leaders will be one step closer to nailing down their own policy today. Talks about a new AI policy have been happening here inside the school board headquarters for months now. North Carolina lawmakers are considering making guidelines at the state level, too. A new law could require the State Board of Education to adopt standards for AI literacy in schools and set a model policy that would be followed at the local level. Wake school leaders could require students to acknowledge and explain their use of AI. They also may provide guidance on AI ethics and discourage teachers from using AI detectors to monitor students' work.
The State Department of Public Instruction has discouraged the use of these detectors since January of 2024 when they issued guidance on it. So it's long been discouraged. Wake County says that internally they discourage the use of these detectors, but we know that some teachers have actually still been using them.
We've even reported about how one Wake County student claims she was wrongly accused of using AI for an assignment by one of those detectors. Now, school leaders may not make a decision until August, but even if this new policy is issued, there could be some changes if lawmakers decide on a new statewide protocol. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Cary.
Well, the Carolina Hurricanes are preparing to get ready for their parade this Saturday, and folks, you are invited. Here's a look right here at the downtown Raleigh parade route. You can see in the red line where they're going to be traveling. It'll go down Hillsborough Street, swing by the Capitol, and then it'll head down Fayetteville Street. The parade ends at Davie Street, and then afterward, there will be a fan rally in City Plaza. Now, let's say you're driving into downtown for this parade. There are 5 city-owned parking decks that you can park at for free right here on this map. Most are east of Wilmington Street, but there's also the City Hall and Cabarrus parking decks. You'll want to get your spot early. The parade starts at 11 a.m. on Saturday, and the city is going to begin closing roads as early as 3:30 in the morning, so keep that in mind in case you park on the streets overnight. Count on WRAL for live team coverage of the Big Canes Parade on Saturday. We will have a lot of our team members in downtown Raleigh to get you every angle of the celebrations. We'll broadcast the entire event live, including the fan rally in City Plaza. You can watch WRAL on air and online.
During this time of celebration, the Carolina Hurricanes are also sounding the siren on food insecurity in the community. Players are partnering with the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina to fight food insecurity during the summer months. WRAL's Adley Calabar has more on how they met their goal just hours ago.
And the Caniacs stepped up as they always do. All the hurricane warning boxes are checked, and that goal is met. The Goal to End Hunger Challenge surpassed $25,000 over the course of the morning. Canes center Logan Stankoven and defenseman Jacob Slavin teamed up with the food bank to kick off this initiative at the start of the Stanley Cup final. The Hurricanes also donated a $50,000 grant during Game 2. Now, with that grant and that $25,000 goal met, they'll be able to provide more than 225,000 meals to families in need. The Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina says this effort comes at a crucial time.
Our families with children are now having to think about how they're going to put 10 extra meals on the table each week per child. And for budgets that are already strapped, that is incredibly difficult.
Now, they have met that goal, but you can still donate. You can go to WRAL.com for that link. Reporting at Lenovo Center, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
So just a heads up, procrastinators, Father's Day is this Sunday, and if you haven't bought a gift just yet, don't worry, there is still time. Jen Sullivan shares the gift trends and the ideas for last-minute shoppers.
When it comes to shopping for Father's Day, people are splurging on Dad. Total spending is expected to hit a record $27.9 billion this year, according to the National Retail Federation, with people spending an average of just under $227 per person. That's about $27 more than last year.
People really want to celebrate the important people in their lives.
We asked Mark Matthews with the National Retail Federation if people are spending more or if gifts are just more expensive this year.
We are seeing a little bit more goods inflation than we saw last year, but we're talking about 1 or 2%.
He says retail sales have gone up 8 months in a row and that shoppers are just spending more. So what are people buying, Dad, this year? The NRF found the number one item people are buying, a greeting card, followed by clothes and a special outing.
We've got a lot going on this summer. The World Cup is here, so there's lots of opportunities for those special outings that people want to take their dads on.
Many people surveyed also said they plan on buying Dad personal care products like skincare and hygiene items.
This year, we are spending $350 million more on personal care products than on home improvement and gardening items.
No matter what you buy, Dad, this year, quality time is always a great gift, and time together is priceless.
So if you're having trouble choosing a gift for your dad, you could treat him to a day at the ballpark. You got the Durham Bulls, the Zebulon Devil Dogs, and you have the Wilson Warbirds all hosting games on Sunday. So a lot of things you can do.
Yeah, perfect for Dad. Well, attention job seekers. Will your resume make it past the AI scanners? After the break, we'll share a strategy to help your application stand out and get you to the next stage.
Plus, finding more fish. Why a high-tech device that can help anglers is also turning up environmental concerns. Make sure you take WRAL with you on the go. You can watch WRAL News on WRAL.com or the WRAL app on your streaming device.
Most job seekers already know that AI is screening their resumes. Rising above the crowd means more than having the most matching keywords. Maribel Aber shares a hiring expert's advice on landing an interview.
Hey, Maribel Aber here at the NASDAQ market site. Ever feel like you're sending resumes into a black hole? Well, you're not imagining it. Hiring is slowed. Companies are receiving more applications, and many resumes are screened by software before a recruiter ever sees them.
Employers are using it in the first stage of hiring, and so you as a job seeker should use it as well.
Priya Rathod, workplace trends editor at Indeed, says it comes down to mastering the balance between keywords and individuality.
You have to look at a job where you do have the skills and unique experience, then use AI to keyword match, and then you make it through.
And to make it through, many job seekers flood the zone with resumes, banking on the law of averages to increase potential employer interest.
It's actually more beneficial for a job seeker to apply to less jobs and that you have specific qualifications for.
Having the right keyword matches, but the wrong experience won't get you the job, even if you get through the AI gate. Rathod also says don't pressure yourself into mastering every AI tool out there.
So pick one that you've been wanting to experiment with and work with that for a couple of hours every week. You don't need to use every AI tool to be fluent in AI.
And remember, no response doesn't mean you're not qualified. It's feedback that can help you refine your next application. Your money matters.
Although many free services can help evaluate your resume, experts say relying entirely on AI to write your resume produces generic, robotic text that recruiters reject.
I mean, just write it out because you don't get caught. AI is useful, but you don't get caught. All right, gone fishing. Advanced technology is helping anglers find fish even faster. We're going to bring you the pros and the cons of using sonar devices while fishing. Plus, catch and release. A veteran angler reeled in a great white shark, and you're going to want to see more of this moment, plus why he had to rush to put the shark back in the ocean. Thought I'd see a lot more people hitting on the links there. Well, a new type of sonar device, it's growing in popularity among anglers. And some say these devices actually save them time and it's maximizing their fun. Gary Baumgarten spoke with environmental experts, though, who are raising concerns about wildlife with this.
Folks looking to beat rising temperatures might be tempted to hop on a boat and hit the water for some recreational fishing. And while today's rods have come a long way, further advancements are arming anglers with new tools to help them find fish faster.
You see a whole bunch of little marks. Those are all fish, more than likely like small bluegills or bait fish.
They're called forward-facing sonar devices. Many cost thousands of dollars, but provide accurate locations of fish underwater in real time.
It's just nice to be able to hone in on them a little quicker, and you certainly learn more about the fish, how they react.
But as these types of products grow more mainstream, they're churning up debate about the potential for overfishing in the future.
We understand that there's concern predominantly that catch rates are going to increase, harvest might increase, and even if there is predominantly catch and release fishing, the increased catch rates will translate to increased mortality that might end up happening at unsustainable levels.
Some wildlife experts are advising caution, but also say just because you find fish doesn't guarantee you'll catch them.
And that's made frustratingly clear when you use this technology sometimes.
Researchers in Wisconsin last year had 2 teams fish for smallmouth bass. One group had forward-facing sonar, the other did not. Halfway through the summer, the teams switched. While analysts discovered the team without sonar had higher catch rates, the team using the tech caught fish that were slightly longer. Anglers without sonar also spent more time actively fishing.
Maybe you're not casting as much if you're studying it.
A Northeast fisherman has a high-stakes encounter with a great white shark. Elliot Sudel was fishing along the beach in Nantucket, Massachusetts, when he landed a nearly 9-foot great white by accident. Great whites are protected by law and must be returned immediately when caught. The experienced fisherman went to work on removing the hook and then pulled it back into the Atlantic. Sudel has caught and tagged hundreds of sharks over the years. My goodness, so he knows exactly what he's doing. But pretty cool video to see, Elizabeth. She is tracking, though, a chance for rain that we could see later this week, all because of that system that you're tracking, Elizabeth.
A lot of people are going to see way too much rain, and we just happen to be in the pocket where we're just not going to see enough. Here's the setup. So we had a low pressure system and a cold front moving toward the coast earlier today. We'll push this into motion. You can see that's sliding offshore. But this front here was parked along the Gulf Coast, and it produced a lot of heavy rain in the last 48 hours. And so there's some flooding that's ongoing, especially across parts of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and there's still some ongoing thunderstorms there across the deep south. Well, that's the path that our storm is going to take. This, of course, is our first tropical storm of the season right here, moving up past Houston, and it's going to take a path to the northeast. It's moving to the northeast at about 9 miles per hour right now. It has 45-mile-per-hour winds. We just got a new update at noon, and that's a little bit stronger than the forecast path had it, so it'll be interesting to see how much it strengthens. It's still barely over water, but enough so that it could continue to strengthen a little bit more until it starts to move inland and cross over Louisiana. It is likely to weaken at that point. The forecast track currently has it weakening to a tropical depression by around 8 o'clock this evening, and then just a remnant low as it crosses Louisiana. We do have tropical storm warnings in effect from Houston all the way over to about the central coastline of Louisiana. That's going to be for winds. That's what those warnings are for. So some tropical storm force winds with that system. But the biggest thing that's going to cause problems is the rain on top of an area that's been flooding. So the yellow and orange shaded areas are where we could see 4 to 8 more inches of rainfall. Then you look up here to North Carolina, and on its current path, we're only likely to see about ½ an inch of rain in the northern part of our viewing area, and then from Raleigh southward, maybe 3/4 of an inch to a little over an inch. You know, it would be nice to maybe like squeeze 2 inches out of it. That doesn't look like it's going to happen right now, but we'll keep watching it. If the path changes any, again, most of the rain stays to the south. If it happens to bobble a little farther north, then some of us might get a little more lucky. But that's definitely not going to those numbers are not going to get us out of the drought anytime soon. Let's talk about the timeline for the rain. This is 3, 4, 5 o'clock tomorrow. We'll see increasing clouds at around 7 or 8. We begin to see some of these thunderstorms pop up. 1 or 2 of these could produce some isolated wind damage. You can see our level 1 risk across the entire state for a few isolated storms that produce some gusty winds. That's one of the reasons that tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day. We move ahead to Friday, and we'll see some showers moving across the area very early, but not during the morning commute. And then much later in the afternoon, around 3 or 4, we see another line of thunderstorms potentially come through. So we'll have another potential chance for rain. But that rainfall that we were looking at up to an inch includes Thursday and Friday. So this is a look at our weather alert day for tomorrow. We do have the potential for major heat risk up until 8 p.m. And then, of course, we have that level 1 risk for severe storms. Take a look at that heat index for tomorrow. 107 in the Triangle and in Fayetteville, 106 in Rocky Mount, and 102 for South Hill and Roxborough. After that, we start to cool off slightly over the weekend. I know a lot of people are making plans to head to the Hurricanes Parade. Temperatures should be in the 80s, and it looks dry Saturday and for Father's Day Sunday.
A cult classic heads to Sin City. Better brush up on that choreography for the Time Warp, when fans can experience an updated version of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
And we do have a look at your winning Mega Millions numbers right here on your screen. 12, 20, 53, 67, 70. The gold Mega Ball is 12.
As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today. In the past 30 years, dozens of North Carolina children have died in hot vehicles. And we are tracking dangerous, record-breaking heat this week. Today, Durham first responders teamed up with Duke Health and Safe Kids NC to show just how dangerous temperatures can get inside parked cars. Hear more about how to look for early signs of danger in your children on our evening news starting at 4.
And we are just 3 days away from the Canes Stanley Cup Parade, and the city of Raleigh is busy working on the game plan for the celebration that will draw tens of thousands of people. Now, here's the deal. No parking signs are going up already along Hillsborough Street, and roads will be shutting down all around downtown from St. Mary's down Hillsborough and, of course, onto Fayetteville Street. The city is offering free parking at 5 of its parking garages. You can see that on your screen here. But you can also find a guide on everything you need to know over on WRAL.com.
Tonight, Wake County schools will consider increasing the price of meals. Prices could increase by 25 cents per meal, raising elementary school lunches to $4 and $4.25 for middle and high schoolers. The higher prices are due to increased food and delivery costs. A vote is scheduled for tonight at 5:30.
An adapted version of the Rocky Horror Picture Show is headed to Las Vegas. The Sphere says that it will screen this cult classic musical starting next year. Sphere Studios will adapt the film to fit the venue's massive screen and the sound system. And this will mark the second movie to get the Sphere treatment. You may recall last August, The Wizard of Oz brought in more than $400 million in ticket sales.
Rocky Horror at the Sphere, that will be epic. California's Klepto Kitty is an internet hit. Juno has gone viral for taking toys, hats, and so much more. Her owner says to date, Juno has brought home more than 2,500 items from neighbors. She even set up cameras to record Juno's little adventures from the patio pet door. And one of her recent finds was a tossed safety vest. And of course, there are the gloves.
A lady across the street that did gardening gloves, and she left them out. She came over and said, I think I saw your cat with my garden gloves. Can you check?
Juno now shares a home with a kitten named Tilly, who is learning her klepto ways. Juno's owner has given away some items to Santa Barbara Humane Society on her behalf.
So on the internet, is it called Klepto Kitty? Is that the actual name? Because cat burglar is right there. Like, it's right there. And I'm wondering if, I don't know. That's what was going through my head, that entire story.
Well, the perfect lost and found. You know, if you lose something, go check with Klepto Kitty.
Yeah,
she probably has it.
She probably has it for you. All right, let's talk about another cat. Our pet of the day comes to us from Cat Angels Pet Adoptions. This is Ginger. She's an 11-year-old Lynx Point Siamese mix with tabby markings. She's happiest spending time with her people and being a devoted companion. Now, here's the deal. Ginger will thrive as an only cat, soaking up all the love and attention and, of course, giving plenty in return. So if you are looking for a low-maintenance companion, Ginger may just be your perfect match. You can fill out an application on the Cat Angels website if you would like to meet her in person.
A personal battle. A major healthcare leader is opening up about a life-changing experience that's now shaping some of his biggest decisions. Today at 4, hear how that journey could impact the future of Duke University hospital systems. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
And as always, you can get your breaking news updates and your latest weather reports with the WRAL News app. Hope you have a blessed day today.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.